Dr. Rajkumar Bhardwaj. So firstly, Dr. Raj, we extend a very hearty welcome to you and thank you so very much in spite of you being traveling, for academic work, and you have been so gracious and kind. And thank you very much for your immense support, which is always appreciated and admired by each one of us. And thank you so very much for making it possible to have you with us today. I have immense pleasure in welcoming Dr. Rajkumar Bhardwaj and also in introducing everyone, in our profession is fully being knowing about Dr. Raj and also to his remarkable contributions that he has been making in the profession. And it is indeed a pleasure for me to make an attempt, to introduce and make you all aware about his contributions to the profession. Dr. Raj Kumar Bhardwaj is currently as a chief librarian, serving as a chief librarian in India's one of the most prestigious college, St. Stephen College at University of Delhi. And he is undoubtedly a most accomplished professional who has received several prestigious awards and accolades for his contributions and also for the research endeavors. As a recipient of the Commonwealth Professional Fellowship in the United Kingdom, Dr. Bhardwaj has demonstrated his commitment to excellence in his field. He has also been awarded with numerous awards, including the Informatics Innovation Award 2022, Informatics Outstanding Researcher Award 2022, and also Asiala Outstanding Research Award 2022, which was bestowed at AMU. He is also currently serving as a chief librarian at St. Stephen, and previously, he played a very pivotal role as an assistant professor at the School of Information and Communication Studies at Central University of Punjab, wherein Dr. Raj was instrumental in establishing the department and designing the curriculum according to the National Education Policy 2020. With a strong educational background, he has an extensive publication record with over 65 publications, and we heartily congratulate Dr. Raj for his remarkable contributions to the world of academics and reputed journals. He has been published, and just to name some of the esteemed publishers, including Emerald, Taylor and Francis, Cambridge, and wherein he has authored articles, books, and also has reviews and course content to his credit. His expertise is sought after globally, and he has also delivered more than 100 invited talks, including, also his lectures have been telecasted on the television DTH channels. He also trained librarians of more than 500 government schools in Delhi, which is quite remarkable in the last 10 years through the in-service training programs. And his research projects has made a significant impact and has completed 5 major projects while actively participating in several international projects. I would also like to brief you that Dr. Bhardwaj holds esteemed positions in the international organizations, and which is a matter of great pride for each one of us. He is the information coordinator and standing committee member of IFLA at Hague, Netherlands, the IM section, contributing to the development of information services globally. He is also a jury member of the International Paper Contest of Assist USA, recognizing his expertise and judgment in the field. And in addition to his professional accomplishments, Dr. Bhardwaj is also a founder of the startup ISVI, further showcasing his entrepreneurial spirit and innovative mindset. And I'm very pleased and honored to inform you all that he has also received an international recognition, including the Diversity Scholarship Award 2022 from USA. It's always such an immense pleasure. We feel so very happy and delighted, Dr. Raj, the enormous contributions that you are making so selflessly, always available, to the profession, to the professionals. It's truly remarkable. We wish you the very best, and it's indeed always a pleasure, to have you with us. And thank you so very much for your tremendous support to Delnet and also to the entire professional fraternity. May I have a pleasure of requesting you to kindly now deliver the talk on landscape of artificial intelligence in academic libraries, opportunities and challenges, or perhaps challenges and opportunities. So it's over to you, Dr. Raj.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And thank you for this generous introductions. I express my gratitude to you for giving me this opportunity. Believe me, it's a great honor to speak on the birth anniversary of Dr. H.K. Kaul. I received such a love and affection from him. So I have my own self-commitment to support all the Delnet activities, irrespective I'm in Delhi or anywhere. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity. It's a great honor And good afternoon to each one of you who present and joining us today to celebrate this Library Networking Day on the birth anniversary of Dr. H.K. Kaul. And today I'm going to speak about the artificial intelligence. And this artificial intelligence my expertise is not very old. We just last couple of years ago applied for, not a couple of years, couple of months ago, we applied for one project in the US, and we got that that proposal was accepted for the project. And then I started researching about what this artificial intelligence is all about. So there are a lot of tutorials, videos are available on the internet, and you can learn many things. It's not a difficult to learn how these tools and techniques works. But my area and my agenda today is to inculcate the discernibility among the library information science professionals, so that they can not just start an artificial literacy program, intelligence literacy program, but they can also discern which tool they should adopt. So if we divide various tools and technique and apply in the libraries, I can say that there are three categories where artificial intelligence can be applied in libraries. One is that you have to integrate AI in your existing system, whether it's a ILMS or this LMS or whatever tools you have repositories. So integration is one area where you can play a major role. You can have a significant impact of artificial intelligence. And the other area is that you just prepare a tools to monitor how your systems behaves. What are the artificial intelligence? If you integrate in different tools and technologies, you can monitor their performances. So that's a second area. And the third is you can use the existing tools. We have a ChatGPT, we have a Elicit. There are numerous tools which can convert text to videos. They can convert video to text. You can also extract text from images now. And there were also misconception that these tools, ChatGPT, large language models tools, are not up to date. But if you see the ChatGPT 4.0 onwards and the Gemini advanced versions, they are actually backed by the search engine. So in the real-time data also they can ingest in the system. So that's a misconceptions now that AI, this existing system are outdated. That's not the case. But as a librarians, we need to have a discernibility how to actually apply AI in a higher education institution and academic library in particular. And that's our agenda. So we go back to this agenda and we'll understand how this AI is actually beneficial for us, what are different challenges, what are different opportunity for library information science profession. Because believe me, AI is bizarrely simple and bizarrely sophisticated technology. So there are different layers of technologies are integrated into the AI, and that we need to understand. Because if you not understand the different layers of AI, there are different concerns and we can be in trouble. And because that all AI, if you see there, they are decided that they are built by the homogeneous group of handful of corporate houses, and they are dictating a term. So artificial intelligence is not just a technology, it's a politically also. That also we need to understand how they are dominating. These forces are dominating. So it's not just technology, it is a political agenda also, you can say, and that we need to understand how this. So this presentation I have taken from different sources, and I'm not claiming copyright on them. I'm just using them for informational purpose. And what we will cover is all about all these aspects which I just discussed. But before we move, we need to understand how this AI was started. We are talking about the AI was started in 1956, or before that you will say, Alan Turing started the Turing test, through which we can determine who is human and which is machines. So Turing test was invented. But if you go back in early 20th century, Charles Babbage, who was considered as an inventor of the computer, he said there are three activities in the industry happens. One is a surveillance, another is a computation, and third activity is a labor forces. And he said that the labor forces is one area which is very untrustworthy. So he tried to automate this human workforce, and the AI is also a subset of that. So interestingly, Charles Babbage was very brilliant mechanical engineers and philosophers, scientists. he didn't go to the school. He was directly admitted to Cambridge University, and thereafter he got the graduate degree from the Cambridge. So Charles Babbage contribution is remarkable, no doubt. But the focus was only on the manpowers, so that how you can extract the maximum labor, how you can indulge, and how you can take a maximum output from the labor forces. And that same is happening in the AI. So AI, whether it's Alan Turing or McCarthy, the idea is same, to take maximum from the labor forces. And thereafter the machine learning came. So machine learning is not about AI. It's a subset of AI which actually you train the machine to take the decisions. And the deep learning is just beyond that, that there is a huge amount of data which are stored in the neural networks, and machine can decide in the one of the subset in the machine learning is a reinforcement learning, so that you see the driverless cars. So that is actually the one subset of the deep learning. Another subset of deep learning is a generative AI nowadays, which is a buzz: ChatGPT, Gemini, lot of things. So generative AI, this ChatGPT, there are two technologies involved with it. One is a generative, and another is a conversational. So whenever you are integrating AI in the libraries, that you need to understand these are the two technologies. One is conversational. So AI technologies in the libraries giving us an opportunity. Now the users not just can retrieve the content from the system, but they can actually converse with the system to get the appropriate content. So that's the beauty of the generative AI technology, which is a conversational and as well as a generative. So you need to understand this machine learning. Machine learning has two categories. One is a supervised machine learning, another is a unsupervised machine learning. So in unsupervised machine learning, machine is not being supervised. Machine is doing its own ways to classify the document and establish a relationship between them. But in the supervised learning, there are a workforce involved, and that's our argument is AI is a superficial AI, but there is actually unacknowledged labor forces from developing and underdeveloped countries who are behind this AI platform. So you need to have a discernibility. Who is benefiting from this AI? That is also the librarian's job, to educate the society, our users, that who is going to benefit from this AI. Now, to what extent we need to apply in our libraries. So that is a different agenda we will need to have in our libraries, to make, because libraries are a democratic institution, and if you not educate your user about different segments of the AI, your AI literacy programs cannot be impactful. So in large language model, what happens so far in the AI technology before this generative AI was there since, I was saying that since Charles Babbage, we have been trying to extract from the labor forces. And in 2021, generative AI came into that picture when this language model started giving generating the content. So how it is happening? Through the OCR also, library was not achieving 100% from image to text. But suddenly, these large language models are giving us so much accurate informations. Even the small comma, hyphens, nothing was missing. It's 100% grammatical accurate. So how this happened, that you need to understand. So uh, IBM was doing the research on this, and suddenly there were a lot of failures IBM faced. But IBM inducted one person. His name was Robert Mercer in the team, that how to improve these translations and how to improve this text generation content. So this Robert Mercer gave an idea to the IBM. So rather than focusing on a linguistics aspect of a machine's AI technology, you need to work on a statistical model. And the statistical model says what will be the next word. So in large language model is not a linguistics model. They are actually a predictive model, which word will come next. So if you are typing once upon, and that the next word is a time, it will not be a city or B or pizza. So these statistical model, whatever you see nowadays, they are actually based on the statistical model, not on the linguistics models. So what has changed? This was one aspect of large language model. But what has changed in the AI since Alan Turing? Alan Turing gave us a test. We call it Turing test, and still we use that in the form of CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA is a automatic computing, which discerns what is human and what is machines. So what has changed so far is that the storage of the net, our data's, our computing has improved. So we are storing the data in neural networks. We are, scale of the computing has enhanced, and the quantity of available data sets has, also evolved. So, and that is why we have a large language models. Uh, but the stories of artificial intelligence go back, at the early 20th century. There was a horse in Germany. It was called Clever Hans. So Clever Hans was a horse which was trained by von Hostens, and it was called in fact the news was coming in the New York Times. Wonderful wonder horse of the Germany. So this horse was able to actually identify the alphabet. The horse was also able to sum up two numbers or three numbers. In fact, the horse Clever Hans was also able to subtract. So how he used to do? He used, tap his hoof on different numbers to identify the numbers. So if you give him a, additions, two numbers additions, so he will, tap his hoof for multiple times. So if he gives 3 plus 5, he will tap his hoof 5 times. So that's how he give answer. So he was giving an amazing answers to the people. So a lot of audiences used to come to watch Clever Hans, how he's giving the right answers. So in fact, he was so popular that the education department of the Germany had to set up a commissions that whether the intelligence horse has is a real or not, whether it's a fake intelligence or whether it's a real intelligence. So what happens? Education department included one philosopher, one geologist, a circus manager was added in the commissions to understand what the Clever Hans, how he gives the right answer. So they came to the conclusions after the inquiry that it's worthy to investigate the intelligence of Clever Hans. So they also said that after a few weeks later, they said that we found that Hans is giving the right answer when the questioner is standing in front of the Hans. But if the questioner is asking questions way beyond where the Hans can't see the questioner, or the questioner himself doesn't know what is the right answer, then Clever Hans is not able to give the right answer. So they came to the conclusion that Clever Hans is actually, questioner is not aware about it, but the Clever Hans is actually getting the right answer from the questioner himself. So he is actually observing the behaviors, the facial expressions of the questioner. He is observing the breathing of the questioner, the postures of the questioners. So, and that's how he is giving the right answer. So what I'm trying to say is through this picture that if the horse can be trained like this, why not the machines? So in fact, the Charles Babbage himself said that the end of the 20th century, people will believe that machine thinks, and there will be no contradiction. And that same is happening nowadays. Large language model, that we believe that machine thinks, isn't it? There's no contradiction because we are getting right answers from the large language models. So that is the story, which is really fascinating. So there can be many components of artificial intelligence. One can be text to speech. You can have a speech to text, and you can have predictive analysis. You can have deep learning. You can have a image recognition. Recently, from a Gemini, I extracted the data from the image. So you upload the image on the Gemini, and you can extract the data. So there are various components of the artificial intelligence. It is applied everywhere nowadays. In all walks of life you can apply artificial intelligence, undoubtedly, but it's a technology that you need to understand. And as the Clever Hans was taking an indication from the questioner himself, same is taking the indication from the questioner. Large language model doesn't generate the answer automatically. Actually, they take the hints from the questioner, and then they match with their data and give you the right answer. So that's a technology we need to understand. In fact, the Sundar Pichai said that artificial intelligence is the most important thing humanity has ever worked on. And he said that I think of it as something more profound than electricity and fire. So right now there are 37.1% annual growth in artificial intelligence, business, and it is, believed that by 2030 there will be more than, $1,000 billion industry this artificial intelligence will be. So there are enormous chances. In fact, many years ago, it was predicted that uh, there will be growth of 220% in the data science in India, and that is same is happening. You can see the large number of advertisement by the corporate houses. They are for the data scientists, data professionals. So another thing that you need to learn is that is the imitation learning system, which is another subset of deep learning. So how the Tesla has a driverless cars. So what Tesla technology does under the imitation learning system, they recorded the behavior of the drivers initially. So there was a camera was set up on the cars. Along with the camera, they recorded the behaviors of how the driver acted in a particular situation. So if another car is coming from the front, how the driver acted. If the tree came into way, then how the driver acted. So they recorded not just the roads movement, but they also recorded how the driver acted in particular situation. And that's why Tesla says that their cars have an experience of 30 lakh miles when they come on the road. When the new cars come on the road, they have an experience of 13 lakh miles. However, if the normal drivers, drive 500 or 1,000 kilometers before coming on the road. So these are the example that how AI has enormous features. But somehow, uh, whether we are aware or not, AI we have been using, all of us have been using, whether it's Alexa, whether the Siri in iPhones, or whether our YouTube channels. So when you go to the YouTube channel, channel will give you recommendations. They will give you recommendations, and when you start playing one video, they will also give you suggestions, isn't it? So these are the new videos you can watch. So it's nothing. It's an artificial intelligence which we have been using in different platforms. So apart from that, what are the shared principles that you need to learn? Because these shared principles can help you to inculcate the discernibility. Because if you not inculcate the discernibility among the allies professionals, how will you conduct the AI literacy program in the library? That is a challenge that you need to learn as a library information science professional, wherein you are setting up a AI platform that you need to make sure that they are transparent and explainable. You need to make sure from where the data is coming, whether the data which the AI platform have been using, whether they adhere to the corporate laws or not, whether the privacy has been maintained in the data system or not. So it is not just you go on the website and start using the tools and tell to your user that these are the tools you should use for your study and research. But shared principle is that you need to make sure what is the transparency and what is the explainability, whether the tools is able to explain from where they are getting the data, whether the data which they have is anonymous, they are not compromising the privacy laws of the country, whether the systems of AI system are fair or not, whether the inclusivity have been maintained. See, I have already mentioned that when you go to San Francisco, you will see a lot of corporate houses, 6-7 major houses. You will find the headquarter of Apple, Google. There's one more corporate house which makes satellites. Many corporate houses. So these actually AI technology, which is not just a disruptive in nature, but I would say they are planetary disruptive. They have disrupting the entire planet in one way or the other, and that's why Sundar Pichai says they will become more important, like a water and electricity one day, isn't it? So that you need to understand whether they address the inclusivity or not, whether they are addressing the privacy or not, whether these are secure and resilient system. If AI systems start malfunctioning, whether they are compromising the privacy of a user or not. It's not necessarily that AI system will not malfunction at any point of time. So even if they malfunction, that you need to make sure they doesn't harm the society. And overall, another shared principle says that the ultimate aim of AI should be, uplift the society. They should not be to replace the humans. They should be actually to augment the performances of the users, so that people can do their work with ease. They can, have the better lives. And of course, these AI systems should also adhere to the accountability. They should also be governed properly. But one more thing, apart from this shared principle, you should remember that if your system is biased, if they are giving you inaccurate results and hallucinating, then these are the major risks for the libraries. So in any case, you cannot integrate, you cannot acquire, or you cannot develop a system which hallucinate, we give accurate information, or which are biases. Because library is considered as a democratic organizations, and that's why that is the advantage. Why the libraries are surviving in different times. Even if we had an automation, we accepted it. We had a computer, we accepted it. Now AI is coming, that we are also accepting it, and people happily use these tools, whatever we introduce in our library, because of this democratic nature of the library that you need to remember. And in any case, we cannot actually encourage any kind of biases and inaccuracies. So there are different tools in our previous presentations also. You have seen Mr. Arora has shown you different tools. So these different tools can be classified. They can generate text, they can generate videos, they can generate image. In fact, the codes can also be generated using these tools. Even if you don't know Python's codes, a little bit of Python you knows, you can generate a fabulous code, and you can integrate in your tools. And you can create from text to speech. You can have a 3Ds program also. And there are other tools which are helpful for the researchers. You can use in day-to-day research work. So that's a categorization, broadly categorization of tools and techniques. But I already explained you that there are 3 categories where we can apply these tools in the libraries. So what is the advent of AI in libraries? How we can use it? So first and foremost is that AI tools can improve the performance of the retrieval, because that retrieval tool which we were discussing, the ACR2 doubling core, uh, we have a RDA, we have a better information retrieval tools now in the forms of AI. So you not just from the bibliographic details you can retrieve results, but from the full text you can actually generate the results. So now the search system of the libraries will be more cognitive in nature. So far what we were doing, we were searching the content and the system was giving us the hits, rank 1, 2, rank 3. But here, with the integration of chatbots, with the integration of AI, conversationals and generative tools, we can actually converse with the system. So how will become more cognitive in nature, rather than a simple giving you the results and making the ranks. So because their ranking was giving on the basis of the number of texts available in one particular document, but here you can interact with the system itself and you can reach to the appropriate point. So you then have a advantage using the AI tools rather than simple technology. And various corporate houses now, Web of Science has come with the research assistants. So research assistant, what they do, they are trying to fetch, prepare your when you prompt to the system will match with their own catalog, and the catalog will then pass the appropriate content to the large language model, and you will see the appropriate results. So not just the summation of the results you will see, you will also find the different results which are more appropriate. Rather than giving you thousands and lakhs of results, this AI system give you better outcome, because they are intelligent in nature. The large language model are being supported to these tools. So similarly, that you need to understand, with the help of AI in Clarivate, we can actually make a connection, easily establish a connection between the content. We can have establish the connection between the people and different institutions, which was actually very cumbersome before AI. So with the help of AI, you can have a topic modeling, topic map, and through the topic map, you can establish a relationship between the content, people, and institutions. In fact, with the help of a time graph, also you can understand what is the growth of a literature on particular subject in a particular time durations. That is time graph also helping us. So these publishing houses are also integrating AI in their systems. So other areas where libraries can apply AI is a personalized recommendation system, intelligence resource management. With chatbot, we can have data analytics, collaboration, and knowledge sharing. Of course, after this you will have improved user experience, and that will improve efficiency, and have library will be able to take better decisions. So there can be many and pattern-driven acquisition model can also be done, because so far if you see the pattern-driven acquisition models, we were thinking what kind of content are being downloaded more by the pattern, and on the basis of the data we were taking the decision that this has already been downloaded multiple times, so we should buy this. But now with the help of AI, we can also ascertain how many times that data is which chapter is consulted more, from the chapter which pages were consulted more. That kind of data also with the AI we can actually grasp and we can take a better decisions. Not just now having a, if like with the help of this, we can also figure out, instead of buying a book, we can buy a chapter. This chapter is in demand among our users. So we will not buy the book, we will buy the chapter only. So these kind of decisions. So decision making will be robust. And there are many libraries which happily integrated the AI in their system. For instance, Stanford University Library, they have integrated AI. So they had a large number of video recordings in the library, but they were not aware which was the event, who was the speakers, what was the theme, when it was organized. So they were very clueless. They had a large amount of videos. So after integrating the AI, they integrated the Stanford University Library AI Studio, and they could figure out easily which was the event, when it was held, who was the speaker. So that's the power of AI that you can integrate. And after this, you can also have a predictive analysis. Many of you might have aware about that OCLC has a question point service. Now they have discontinued it. So through the question point service, many librarians can actually sit simultaneously in different locations, and they can give the answer to the different queries, even if the user doesn't belong to that particular library. So Groupal librarian can actually deal with the different set of users, which are the user of different libraries. So similarly, like a question point service, now it is possible in the AI that you can actually have a real-time conversation with the users. So like sometime I'm telling you, I called a one service center, and I was talking to that person on the call for 2 minutes. But at the end of the day, I got a hint that was not a real person; it was a machine. So this kind of a reference services, this kind of a interaction libraries can start jointly. And it is also very difficult for the library to trace the predatory journals. It's a very cumbersome, but with the help of AI, that is also possible, because AI can trace the unpredicted behavior of the journals, unpredicted growth of article in particular issues or in particular year. And that's how we can identify that these are the predatory journals and these are the other peer-reviewed and quality journals. So that's also possible. Apart from that, we can do a context indexing. Data description is one of the challenging tasks for the librarians. It is more than challenging. Cataloging of books is somewhat possible, and we are doing it graciously. But when you do it, the data descriptions, it is such a difficult job. So it's very cumbersome for the librarian to describe the data where they were not involved while collecting. So data description with the AI is possible, and there are many libraries who have been using this technology. So especially in the research data management, AI-based data descriptions is giving us very impactful results. Apart from that, we can also have a AI integration in data management planning stage, and of course that will enhance discoverability. AI can also be used summations, starting an abstracting service. A lot of abstracting services are free nowadays, but still, if library has their own institution has their own publications, and library would like to have a summations of those content, translating in different languages, that is also possible with the help of AI integrations and sentiment analysis, of course, and conversational chatbot also we can start. But now the challenge is these large language model, ChatGPT and Gemini, it is very difficult to identify whether they have also injected the redirected content or not. Whether they have also ingested the predatory journals or not. That's possible. And apart from that, it is also very much not possible that because these contents, large language model, are also using the copyright contents, and that's really problematic. So if we don't have a permission of the authors to ingest my published content in the large language model, that's completely illegal. Bern Conventions already says this. So how these large language model are using the copyright law, that's really a problematic. And therefore, if the library has to start their own service, the chatbot kind of a service, we need to have a our own retrieval augmented framework, and that's that we need to learn how to set up a retrieval augmented framework in the libraries. So for the setting up a retrieval framework, augmented retrieval framework in the library, you need to understand these different steps. And in different steps, like you need to have your own set of documents, which is given here, like in OMA's data. And there will be a technology which actually which will convert this document yeah, and convert it to the vectors. We'll go to the vectors in the numeric forms. So the content, whether it's a text or videos or audios, they will be ingested to the vector database in the numeric form. And these numeric forms will apply the semantic search. And top of it, there will be LangChain. There are many, there are LangChains and GPT AI framework that you need to have. And after this, if you will put a prompt, if you will put a questions with the help of large language model, when these contents will go to the vector, and your prompt will go to through the semantic search. When it pass through the large language model, they will give you the appropriate answer. So this is way how the RAG can be set in the library. So uh, that's a that's a technology library can actually establish, and there are many libraries who has already set up the RAG framework in their library. So that's my argument, is that if you really would like to integrate AI chatbot in your libraries, instead of using these chat GPT technologies, which is also a paid one, but there are this LangChain, which is basically an open source platform, and there are various open source large language model. So with these open source technologies, also we can start a chatbot which is conversational and which is generative in our libraries. Apart from this, LangChain library can also take the help of Llama Index and the Haystack, which is following the BERT technology. So we need to understand there are two technologies, generative technology. One is GPT. So GPT is a go from left to right. Okay. However, the BERT technology not just read from left to right; it also read from right to left. So it's a directional basically. So BERT technology, that's an advantage. So it is advised that if you try to integrate these generative technologies, conversation technologies in your library, you should actually use this BERT model, which is unidirectional, both way it can read. And there are raw LLM, there are raw LLM APIs and LLM UIs. Yeah. So that also you can explore in your library. So if you go into different growth of this large language model, it is not just Chat GPT or Gemini which is rising. Simultaneously, there are open source platform are also rising. So you can see here Llama, which came in 2023, and thereafter Llama 2, which came in July 23. So there are many open source platform are also coming up, and there are many libraries who are using these open source platform and creating their own generative and conversational search retrieval systems. So because if you use the chat GPT models, they are actually charging on the basis of the token. So the number of query your user is posing, they will give you invoices on the basis of that. So that's a token. For per token, library has to pay if you are using this proprietary technology. But if you use this open source technology in your library, you can establish free of course. Of course, you need a space and greater computing capability in your organization. So if you compare Llama 2, which is on open source, with the Chat GPT, of course, GPT is enormous. It is the largest data sets, which is much more powerful than other open source technology. But still, the Llama 2 has a 70 billion parameter. However, GPT has 1.76 trillion, parameters. And as far the content is concerned, Llama 2 has a 4096. However, the GPT has 8192. So there are capabilities. There are huge difference between the capabilities, but it doesn't mean that you cannot establish a AI platform in your libraries. Those of you who don't want to rely on technical capabilities, who don't have a many technical manpower to establish this kind of open source platform, there are proprietary platform like in the MS Azure cloud technology with the very minimal efforts compared to the open source. You can integrate AI technology at a different platform, and you can have your own chatbot in the libraries. So, but the major problem with this integration in the library is the copyright laws. For instance, there are Bern Convention, and under the Bern Convention, the copyright book copyrighted in one country is also copyright in other countries. Okay, and there are 181 signatory on this Bern conventions. And similarly, there are tribes agreement under which various intellectual property is also done. That's a right of the generators, creators. For instance, the trademarks, the logos, all these are under also copyrighted under the IPR. There are different corporate specific agreements. And that's the argument that these large language model, ChatGPT and Gemini, they are actually ingesting the copyright content into their system. And that's the threat for the libraries. If they will start ingesting the copyright content in the system, people will start using. There are a lot of argument that these generative system are not giving the citation within their text or in the reference, but that's the complete illusion. So in the new version of this ChatGPT 4, and in fact the older version also, if you put a proper prompt, if you know the prompt engineering, you can have a content with the citation also. In fact, the in-text citation you can generate with the older model also. I'm telling you this. So yesterday I tried it. So these systems are improving. So new model ChatGPT 4, they are also giving you the references. Gemini is also giving you the in-text reference. And that's the threat for the libraries. That's really a threat for the libraries, because these systems cannot use the copyright content. Because when I publish as an author, I didn't allow the publisher that large language model should use my writer. I never allowed it. And that's why the publisher has started a new model of business nowadays. So recently, one of our paper gone through the major and minor revisions. It's a stage of acceptance. So before acceptance, when I was uploading my revised versions, system asked me that you make sure you have not used the AI, large language model, generative systems in your writings. And I said, yes, I have not used it. I didn't use it. And thereafter, one more certificate I received, that you have to give right to the publisher that the publisher can use this for the commercial purpose. Even I was transferring the copyright, but another set of agreements they are asking, and these set of agreement is nothing that publisher is now using their other business model, and they will have a profit sharing with this AI planetary disruptive planetary platforms, GPT, Gemini, and many others. So there is another business model has emerged. The author is writing a publications, then publisher is having a copyright, and the publisher is having another agreements with these large language models that they will share the profits. So these are because then they will use the corporate content, and that is the threat for the libraries. That if they, because libraries is having the corporate content to the publisher. So there was an industry where the publishers and the libraries and the users and the researchers were involved. But now there's one more entity in the business, and these are the LLMs. So that you need to understand that how to deal. And therefore, many libraries, like a Stanford University library, has set up their own set up AI platforms called Storm. So what they are doing, they are using their own copyright content behind it. So if you go to this website, you can explore what they are giving the in-text citation, and they are also giving the references. But all these references are actually, the copyright is owned by either by the university, or they are under the open access CCC BY content. So that's how they are generating the content, which is really illegal. So I will advise all of you who are attending this program that you should start using the Storm and expose yourself to this Storm, that how you can establish and integrate AI in the libraries. But one more thing that you need to remember, that establishing the AI is not a single man job. You need to work collectively. We need to work collectively. We need to share our resources. We need to share our understanding and knowledge. And that's how we can deploy the AI technology and counter these kind of problems which is coming in the libraries and publishing sectors. So India has also started a India AI program, where they are giving a training data. They are training the manpowers. They are also setting up computing capacities. Now India AI is also giving the cloud platform, which are the cloud technology you can use, because it is not possible for the organization to have a computing platforms, computing infrastructure for the AI. And therefore, Government of India has also given the AI cloud technology platform where the institutions can use. So they have already listed which are the platform you can use. So there are many initiatives. India AI Future Skill Program also been expanded to tier 2 and tier 3 cities where people are being educating through these programs. So there are activities under the India AI program. And India AI program, which is fall under the METI, Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology, AI startups are also being funded. So there are many initiatives in our country also. Use of AI by different platforms. So there are site, already many of you know that. Site has integrated AI way back before launching this ChatGPT. So what site does, you can also integrate the app in the Chrome. So once you integrate the app into the site, this citation database says that how many publications are there, how many other people who cited your publication are agreed to it, means they endorse your finding. But how many of them have contradicted? So they are giving, and how many of them are questioning your, contradicting and questioning your research. So they are actually giving you that how many of them have cited and how many are agreed and how many are contradicted with this, how many have just mentioned it. So there are many things they are giving in the citation databases. So there are litmap also and there are elicit also. I will show you demo in the end of this presentation. That's how elicit is doing. So what elicit is doing, once you ask the elicit, which is also integrated with Jotiro. So what elicit does is, um, you give a prompt to the elicit, and elicit will give you hits. Generally what we see on the windows, we see the results, that these are the results are retrieved. But you can retrieve the results in a different columns. That these are the methods employed in this study. These are the objective of the studies. These were the major findings. So you can have a different columns for each results. And that results you can compare with other studies. So that's an advantage for the researcher. Those who are training the researchers in different industries, you should encourage researchers to use the elicit, because that can also minimize the times. They can, in a very short time, they can do a literature and they can spend more time in their finding, collecting the data. Because researchers generally spend a lot of time in conducting, ingesting, aggregating what study has already been done. So with these a tool like elicit, we can break up one study into different parts. What are the methods, objective, purposes, and the findings, and then we can integrate and contrast, make a contrast with the earlier studies. So that is the how we can harness the tools, AI tools in the research writing. So there are many examples. There are many complaints in the higher education institution that students don't study. They are hardly rely on these AI tools. Many teachers, when I'm sitting in the staff room, they complain they could go to the AI platform and make their assignments. And I don't know how to check these assignments. There's no so far any tools who can check the assignments. Of course, there are Turnitin and many other tools are available which can check the AI percentage, but they don't. These tools doesn't tell you from where these are coming. They never tell you the sources, which AI platform they use for generating this. So, so my example, my suggestions to the librarians is that when your teacher is posing this kind of questions, you can also take the help of Alethea like a tools. So with the help of Alethea, which is a product of Clarivate, what they do, you upload the assignment on Alethea. Alethea will not assess the assignment. Alethea will give you the questions out of these assignments. And on the basis of the questions, you can give those questions to the students, and then you can assess the performances of the users. That's a new way. In the AI era, that's the new way how we will assess the student. It's not just an assignment. On the basis of the assignments, AI system will generate the questions and the student has to answer those questions. That's the new way of the assessment is coming in the Western world. So now many of you might have been confused. What are the different tools and technology? So there's one platform called Futurepedia, where all these AI tools are being actually given links. So this is called a directory of AI tools in all spheres. So whether it's academia, whether it's industry, whatever tool you need, you go to these tools, search these tools, and you would be able to identify many. But remember that you need to remember those shared principles which I shared with you in the beginning. You just don't rush to use this tool. You apply your mind, discern which is appropriate for you and your users. So as a information science professional, I can categorize these tools in 4 categories. One category is administrative tools. like ChatGPT. So what I do, it was very cumbersome for me earlier if I have prepared a proposal and check what are the grammatical errors are there. If there is any linguistics problem in my proposal, is there any typing error with the proposal? I had no access to the Grammarly many times. So with these tools, you give a prompt, just write, check my proposal below and correct the grammars and typing errors in it, and then put the semicolon and paste your proposal. And then, these will check your proposal and will give you the wherever there is a correction needed, they will correct it. So in administrative work, whenever I'm preparing a note and I have to submit to the administrative office, my authorities, I do this like this because I have to do multiple tasks at a single time. So I have to train the users, I have to deal with my staff. It's very difficult for me to spend whole day on administrative work. So I take the help of GPT. I check my grammar, any other error it has, and it correct it. And you can converse with the system to improve your proposal. They will suggest you various improvement also. Another is a Gemini, which is more powerful. In fact, from the videos and images also, you can extract text. So if I upload an image and video and I tell them what is the mentioned in the video, give me the abstract. I don't have a time to go through this. Just give me the abstract. Gemini will give you. And suppose you are in the meeting, you just switch on the Otra AI, and the Otra AI will prepare you the meeting. So I have been engaged in different meetings online. Sometimes my team members give me tasks to prepare a minutes. That's a usual routine work. Each one of us has to prepare a meeting, like any fly activities. So the Otra AI can be very handy. Just switch on the Otra AI will prepare the meeting notes automatically. And in the end, you take the help of GPT, Gemini, and correct your meeting notes. So that's remember Charles Babbage. All these tools are actually what Charles Babbage did, that the human is one, labor forces are the one untrustworthy in the whole aspect of the industry. So Otter AI these AI tools are doing nothing. They are taking the maximum amount of you, and that's what we have been doing it. So in the library, other tools which we can use is recommendation system. So the read OW AI is one system. You put the book which you have read, and on the basis of the book which you have just read, they will recommend me the next book which you should read. So World is Flat is the last book which I read. I asked the system, and the system suggests me similar book, 10 of the similar books that I should read now. Similarly, I already explained to Elicit. Perplex is another powerful platform which also give you text citation, the reference. The Research Rabbit is another tool. You select three main, article related to your study, and don't do anything. Just upload on the Research Rabbit. The Research Rabbit will give you a topic map, that which are the core paper related to your research. Identify those core paper, prepare a bibliography, download it, and in a very shortest time, researchers can prepare literature. So the idea is almost same, that you have not to spend work on a task which are, there are two type of skills. One is fungible and another is non-fungible skills. So fungible skills are those that your subordinates can do, like anybody can do. So AI system are doing nothing. They are taking over the fungible skills. So the non-fungible skills human can. So that's the idea. And there are Joha analytics, right? Similarly, there are many academic writing tools like Storm, showed you, Killboard is one, HyperWrite. There are tools, Grant AI, you can prepare a grant proposals. There are tools, you can prepare an hypothesis. You can write, submit your proposal. You have, most difficult part in preparing a synopsis, writing a hypothesis. So give your objective and other purpose methodology to the system, and system will suggest you that these are the hypotheses researchers can use. So marvelous. So how powerful these tools are. But remember, AI is standing on the shoulders of the giants. That you need to remember. There are many workforce in developing and developed countries who categorized during the machine learning, unsupervised and supervised learning. During the supervised learning, these images were given labels. Okay, in fact, there is one project called ImageNet. So ImageNet is a project at Princeton University, and under the ImageNet project, the project says that I will, identify all the objects on the earth. So they are giving captions to each and every object on the earth. So that's the kind of, you can imagine the kind of a project it is. So there are many similar projects where the manpower is involved. in a supervised learning. And these manpowers are in many developing countries, their wages are less than the average wages of that countries. So a one person who work on the Imagine truck for the supervised learning in the future aid micro workers, they are working to give a labels under this supervised machine learning. They are underpaid labors, and these underpaid labors are not being acknowledged by these powerful powerhouses when you go in the San Francisco, and they are not being acknowledged. They are saying that these are the technology invented by them. So a homogeneous group of peoples are claiming the technology is invented by them. But remember this: these platforms are being used uh, in the developing and underdeveloping countries, where the manpower has been used for the AI platform. Because machine is not intelligent, then they will do everything. Supervision, they will do labeling, everything they will do. Now they became intelligent when the these labor forces already assigned to millions of documents and millions of objects and trillions of objects. They assigned labels. They under the supervised machine learning. Now machine become an intelligent because these people have given the data to them. Okay, and the data they are also capturing when you're using this. So from the developing and the developing countries. So this is the thing that you need to remember. So speech recognition, I already said that Robert Mercer was inducted by the IBM. The Robert Mercer was the same person who was involved in the Trump first presidential campaign, and he was also in the Cambridge Analytica project. So Robert Mercer suggested that instead of linguistics methods, you should use a statistical method for generating the content, and that's how these large language models are so successful. All right, so end of the consent. What is the end of the consent is that in the Duke University and the University of Colorado, there were many projects were going on, and these professors who were involved in this project, they actually mounted the camera in the university campuses, and they captured the images of the students. These cameras were actually mounted for months, and they captured the images of thousands of people on the campus. So you remember, we unintentionally post our pictures on the Facebook and Twitters. What they do, these pictures are actually by AI system are being recognized. So there are AI system in platform, AI platform, which can actually tell your identity using these pictures. They can also tell you the traits of your personality. There are AI system in place. In fact, in the US, FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigations, has come up with a project, and the project was that they actually had a biometric databases, and with the biometric databases, they also had a face recognition system. So with the help of biometric system and the fake face recognition system, they can easily monitor the movement of the people. So who is coming their countries, when they came, when they was out. So after actually 2001 World Trade Center attack, these systems were in place at the airport also. So there are the system with the help of biometric system and with the help of face recognition system, they can also predict you about your personality, whether the person is violent in nature, what kind of personality trait this person has. So these kind of way. So there are many databases. I would like to highlight that there is a mugshot databases. The mugshot is a database which was captured the people who visited the police stations or the people who were actually on the site during the crime scenes. So all these pictures were clicked, and there was a one database was prepared. This data name is a mugshot database, and this database was used by NIST, National Institute of Standard and Technology, and FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation. And these mugshot databases actually was used to identify who are the habitual offenders. So who the person who was find in different crimes scenes, the database AI system will identify who's the habitual offenders. But now this mugshot database is a training data. The people in different countries can use these mugshot databases to train their facial recognition system. But remember, when these pictures were captured during the crime scene sites, but how many people were acquitted? How many people were imprisoned? There's no record. They are simple images. So this is how their AI system can be biased. They can generate a profound metamorphosis based results. So that you need to remember that how these is end of concept. because still these images are available, and their family members, they can't remove those images from databases. However, these were captures, and these people were not acquitted, imprisoned. People was not found guilty, but still their images are there in the databases. So that's kind of an end of the concept. But there are different biases AI systems follow, and these biases we need to understand. So there's a one company who started a recruitment on the basis of AI platforms. They said that there will be no human interference in recruitment. The AI system will determine who is the right candidate for our company. But this AI system, what they do when they were recruiting, they identify, they remove the gender, they remove the name of the person, they remove where the person was born, they remove everything, they anonymize the complete data, so there should not be any biases. But they captured the data, the institution, the way the candidate was passed. But how, see, the story is very interesting, how the biases came into the picture. But they suddenly found that the AI system determined if there is an all women's college, we will not choose that candidate. So they excluded the candidate who were coming from the all women's college. So it determines the company was not inclined to take a women candidate. So that's a very interesting story, that how AI systems are biased. There is one more story. There is one museum in Philadelphia. It's called the Skull Museum, which was established in 1800 something. And by the end of 19th century, they had more than 1,000 skulls, and they came up with a theory, story, uh, that they have a five races. We have on the they category. There are five races: English, blacks, English Africans, Mongolians, Asians. So they categorize five races, and they said that if the skull size is more of any race, that race is actually superior. They have a bigger brain. So, and then if they have a bigger brain, they are more superior in the intelligence. So, in these 1,000 skulls, they aggregated that the white skull has sizes more than the other races. So that's, in fact, they excluded the skull size of the white people who were less than the average. So excluded from the museum, and they came up with the finding that the white races has a bigger skull size and has a bigger brain. So similarly, this large language model is also doing like this. They are giving you the results which they want you to see. They are giving you the story which they want you to read. So that's how these large language models are biases, and libraries have a greater responsibility to set up their own LLMs based on the open source platforms, or to use those platforms which are on the basis of the shared principles. So there was a one person, a psychologist, it's called Paul Ockman. Paul Ockman did a research on facial expressions, and he did that research in New Guinea. So in the New Guinea, he reached to a very remote village, so there are 4 people of Okpa, and with this hypothesis that in the universe, all expressions are same. So all people on the planet have a same kind of expression, and that have a same meaning. So he carried a different cards in his pocket and showed to this, 4 people of Oka. This is a tribal community who was totally unaware about the technologies, totally unaware what is happening in the city. So he showed different cards to these people and try to capture their emotions, whether the emotions and facial expressions are same in worldwide. But you won't believe that he started that study in 1960, but that now is a 8 billion industry now. Facial recognition is a very big industry, and that's why when we post our images on the Facebook, there are tools and techniques which can actually tell you what are the different traits people has, what kind of personality you has, whether you have a aggressive nature, whether you have a submissive in nature, whether you are involved in academics. So what kind of a personality you have, they can actually system can predict that kind of system. So this facial expression becomes so much big industry now. So now the challenge for the librarians and library information professional is how to go ahead in this AI technology, how to integrate in the library. That's so UNESCO AI competency framework show us the roadmap, and this competency framework tell us that first you need to acquire the understanding, you need to learn, you read different aspects of the AI and acquire the basic understanding. So once you acquire the basic understanding, you should deepen it. You should start using different AI tools and techniques, try to know what are different biases the system has, whether they maintain the privacy laws or not, or whether these systems are rational or not. All these things, whether they are fair or not, whether they adhere to the governance, and whether they are accountable or not. All these shared principles, whether they follow or not. And once you learn them, once you deepen it, you should start creating your own AI platform. And I already mentioned that there are three categories of AI platform which you can have in the library. First is you can integrate in an existing system. Second is you can make your own AI platforms, chat bots kind of things. And third is you can have a monitoring AI tools where you can monitoring the performance of different tools and technologies in your libraries. So that's a way. The UNESCO AI competency gives us a clear roadmap. But AI platform is doing a marvelous job for inclusions, especially for visually impaired students. There are AI technologies. There were there are they face problems to understand the diagrams, to understand the charts and graphs. But with the help of AI, that is possible now. These charts and diagram can be converted into text and speeches now. There are apps. My AI app is being used by 7 lakh peoples worldwide, and very handy. So you can educate your visually impaired students if you have in your organization that this is the AI-based app which you can use if you are facing difficulty in understanding the diagrams, charts, graphs. In fact, there are AI-based glasses now, so they no need a walking stick now. So there are AI glasses. So what are object coming in their way, the glass will actually translate the image into the text and speech. So these visually impaired people can walk through the campus easily. So if the tree is coming on their way, the glass itself will read the object and will translate to the speech. So that's the technology which is really helpful for the inclusions for the visually impaired students. But there are technology which are also being used in the defense, and that is the really worry for different countries. And we have different AI initiative almost in all countries nowadays. So AI is being used in a defense also. There was a project Mavan, was a small piece of this larger picture it shows. So AI Mavan is the project that US defense forces has created a drone, and drone has a camera. So drone capture the camera, and these corporate houses, they actually monitor the movement of that object on the earth. So that project Maman was with Google earlier, but there was a lot of protests among the employees of the Google. So Google has to withdraw from this project. Now this project is being handled by the Microsoft. So there are many these defense related AI integration is also that you need to understand. So I would like to, before I wind up, I would like to tell you there's a story of Guta Purcha. So Guta Purcha was actually a tree in the forests of Malaysia and Singapore. So what this Guta Purcha used to do, Guta Purcha, this tree used to produce a small latex. So latex which we use now in our teeth, in the root canal, you see there's a white material, that is basically a latex. So latex was originated basically from the forest of a Malaysia and Singapore, and that latex, this in the 19th century, during 1850, there was a transcontinental oceans. Through the ocean there were wires, and these different countries, there was a communication system was established because these wires were going through the oceans. So what they did, they put a layer of latex on these wires so that wires can remain intact in the oceans. So there was no damage. Once you put a layer of latex on these wires, there will be no damage. So there was this, to get this latex from these Gutia Pucha trees, these colonial forces actually wiped out the trees of Malaysia and Singapore. So out of 8 lakh trees, you can have a 1 ton of latex. And to have this, there were wires in different continents across the nation. The length of these wires were during the 1850, where the colonial forces established, were around 2,300 miles. 2,300 miles. That was the length of these wires. So you can imagine 1 ton of latex, they had to cut 8 lakhs trees. And for these 2,300 miles wires, how many trees they cut down? So they wiped out the forests of Malaysia and Singapore to get the latex. The same is happening for the AI computing capabilities. So AI computing capability is nothing. They are actually using the minerals on the earth. So you will see the lithium batteries. So they are lithium lakes. So all these minerals are taken from the earth by these, there's companies which are setting the cloud platforms, or which are coming with these large AI systems. So what we nowadays the argument is, if you only understand the cost of the gold, but you never estimate the cost to the humanity to dug out the golds. So same is happening. We are only judging the benefits of the AI, but we are not judging that how much minerals are being taken from the earth to have these kind of platforms. So that you need to understand that you need to understand which model it is based on and what AI is being used, for whom we are making these models. That also you need to understand. So therefore, we need to have a proper evaluation system in the library, which model it is based on and what API is being used, whether the grounded and accurate source of data is being used, how model was trained and data is used, what benchmark used in the output evaluation, and if they behave malfunction, what are the guardrails have been put in place. So all these thinking we need to put in place. We also need to understand whether the system is multi-model or single model. That also, because if it's a not a multi-model, there are chances it is a bias. So multi-model system always we need to promote. We need to also adhere to the various privacy laws and privacy policies. So what are the challenges for the libraries? The challenges for the libraries, there can be academic misconduct. People will not have a faith of writing. If author will stop producing the content and new research, that's a threat for the libraries. If this misconduct become a part of our society, then no one will make an original content. And as an researchers, that is my major concern, not just as a librarian but as a researchers. That is, so we need to maintain, library has a larger role to play, that how this academic integrity can be maintained. And the another thing is data fabrication and falsification and modification can be done easily with the use of AI tools. That's another concern libraries has. Text plagiarism and automatic content generation can be done. Lack of transparency and disclosures, generation of fictitious clinical research data, and these hallucinations may lead to the culture or mistrust. That is another challenge library has. So there are many challenges library has, and that we need to address properly. So now I'll show you how this elicit works, because that's a very great tool that you need to know. You can see on the slide. Can you see the elicit?
Very much, Dr. Raj. Yeah.
So this is elicit, and once I log into this. I'm already logged into this system. So I put assistive technologies in libraries. Technologies in libraries. So what it gives, see, so it will give you hits. It will give you different hits. It will give you different hits, and further it categorize. You can categorize on different columns. So I want to categorize on the basis of mean finding. I want to categorize it on the basis of methodology. I want to categorize on the basis of limitations. So you will have a different columns here. So each study has been categorized in different columns. So as a researchers, you can easily figure out what are the major findings of this these studies, what are the different limitations, what are the methods were employed, and how this study is beneficial for me or not. So these are the things that you need to do. And similarly, you can also load, if you load more, you can also extract the data out of these. So if I'll add new step, you can extract the data out of it. So I have already added this, so I have extracted the data. So you can select the paper and you can extract the data out of it. You can, one more step you can add, that you can get a list of concepts. So list of concepts also, like I want to use assistive technology for wheel. So that's, so these are the things AI, how these AI tools are powerful. So these will make researchers' life really easy. So in one way, I'm saying that you need to counter different problems I've been facing. The other side, I'm also saying that these tools are very helpful for the researcher, and Living should not miss a bus. But the problem we can solve, that if you keep in mind all these shared principles. So see, this is concept. They also make their different concepts. So, anyway, this is generating different sub-concepts. So with these, thank you very much to all of you for patiently listening me, and I hope I have inculcated some kind of interest among each one of you, that you not just able to identify the right content, right tools and technology for yourself, but you can also establish a right artificial intelligence program in your libraries. Because once you will educate yourself, then only you can educate your user. So that the UNESCO framework for the AI create, acquire, deepen, and create that roadmap we should follow. So once you acquire it, deepen it, and then create it. So with this, thank you very much for patiently listening me. And you should also explore the Storm platform of Stanford University, which is based on open source large language model. So thank you very much. Over to you, ma'am. If you have any questions, I will be really happy to answer those.
Sure. Thank you very much, Dr. Raj. Truly a mesmerized experience being here, listening to you, and mesmerizing and an amazing presentation of yours. And I must really compliment you for weaving this entire presentation in such a wonderful manner. You know, the best of the examples coming in, and what a panoramic view of this AI landscape that you have given it to us, you know, and truly depicting, you know, on one side the challenges, on the other side, the opportunities also, and many of the concerns. Like in last more than an hour time, and within a very short span, and 1 hour, it's like a journeying through the AI, you know, in the and with a special focus on libraries. But I must really appreciate, the efforts that you have put in making this as one of the most impressive presentation on AI for the libraries, because you have just taken as it was like a journey through AI, and the examples that you have quoted, I think, you know, that's going to get remembered by everyone, right from that clever Hans, you know, that horse. Many of, you know, the examples, I must really compliment you, and I think, you know, the entire our attendees over here, it was one of the most not only the impressive, the impactful, we are also going to each and every word that you have spoken over here, coming with the lot much of experience that you hold. You know, it's going to get cherished by people. Are just going to, they need not to just keep on referring. They're just, they themselves have means they have experience. It was like truly experiencing it, whatever, you know, you have been, because with the strong images you have been able to, it was not just the text, it was not only the words, it was the images also which you have, and that's has made it, you know, truly a memorable experience, you know, to listen to you, and greatly appreciate your professional acumen, you know, your will and desire to spread, you know, your knowledge that you have acquired. Truly remarkable, Dr. Raj. Thank you so very much. I'm feeling really so delighted and happy that it wasn't like, you know, the kind of a knowledge that we have gained in the last, nearly 90 minutes time. You know, we have not felt as if, you know, it was just simply 90 minutes, because you have been able to bring together everything in such a holistic manner. And it's also the gradual, and that speaks volumes of your being with the research work. It is weaving that entire story. You know, it's like that you have been able to do. And that's translating, you know, the experience that you have, and for everyone, you know, of different cadres that we are being here today. And truly remarkable. Thank you so very much for being, such a wonderful colleague for years altogether, and may God bless you and you keep on spreading, this knowledge and light around and brightening up, the ways of everyone. Yeah. So truly, truly appreciate you being away from Delhi, and you have been there. I know that, you yourself is undertaking, means you are again empowering the others, in other parts of the country, but your always readiness, to come forward, that's always appreciated, Raj. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Can't thank you, really can't thank you enough. And
I'm thankful to all participants. I'm really amazed to see that around 700 participants are still in afternoon sessions.
Yes.
It's really honor, and thank you to each one of you who are joining us today. It's really
thank you.
Really honor
thank you,
for
Raj.
me.
Yeah, I know that we have already taken much of the time, but we would just quickly would like to, because I could see that there are questions, but we would just selectively, I'm sorry, that because of paucity of time, as Dr. Raj, is also in the middle of here. So we will just quickly would like to take the questions, requesting our colleagues, the session was truly empowering and enlightening, and now requesting if you have any questions, though all the queries have been put to rest by Dr. Raj. Still, you may like to have some specific queries. Please come forward. So this is Dr. Raj for you, and this is coming from Dr. Sriram, a librarian at Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, who is there with us. And the question is that OpenAI uses huge resources to train its LLM and provides content to the users, which makes it difficult to judge its source from where it is coming in the recent developments. US court and the Delhi High Court summons OpenAI about copyright infringement. You have deliberated, in fact, on that. So what is your opinion about the copyright infringement by ChatGPT, and how a user of ChatGPT believe on its content for its authentication?
Yeah, that's a major concern for libraries. They already raised in one of the slides. Yeah, that's a true. That's a true, but that's also an opportunities for the different countries that we also already are fine-tuned our copyright laws, and we did an amendment in 2012. And after which, people can't make films on the basis of books. You cannot perform in different events. So there's already we have done amendments, and Berne Convention also, if the content is copyright in one country, it's applicable to different country also. But now because of this large language model, I think it's also one more opportunity for us to fine tune our Copyright Act 1957 further. So we can explicitly mention in our copyright laws that these large language model cannot use the copyright content. So once this will start doing, that will be binding on this large language model. But what these large language models are actually doing is there's a gray area where this copyright, laws and Berne Convention is not addressing. So they are using those gray areas and using the copyright content. So once we'll fine tune our copyright laws, then this model will not be able to use it. And I am sure down the years that is going to happen soon.
Thank you very much, Dr. Raj, for this. And we would just also like to inform our attendees that the entire deliberations, with the permission, Dr. Raj, we would like to seek of yours. We are wanting to put it also available, the deliberations since morning that we had, including this wonderful session of yours. We are going to put it on our YouTube channel of Delnet WebView, and would be requesting your consent for the same. And there have been the questions about more to do. There is a question coming in from Mr. Rupesh Kumar that how can academic libraries leverage artificial intelligence to distinguish between post-truth narratives and objectively false information? That's, I believe, the librarians' roles, still would, though technology is posing its own challenges, but I think our role would still, will remain as stronger, and we are required much more than ever before, to do that. And
so there are different tools. Yeah. There are different tools you can figure out where the content was originated. So there are different agencies have access to those tools. So if you post anything on the WhatsApp group, so they can easily figure out from where the content was originated. But I'm not sure about those. What are the different open access platform where you can? But surely, if you can email me, I will can identify and I can tell the person what is the appropriate open access platforms you can use to identify where the content was originated. Like there's a TinEye, for instance, I'm giving you the TinEye is one platform. You can identify the who's the originator of one particular image. So there's go to the Google and figure out TinEye. So TinEye will identify who is the original creator of that image. So similarly, there are tools in place, and you can make use of those tools to counter this post-truth. You can also educate your users about different tools and techniques. And of course, librarians are known for evaluating the informations. We have only those kind of skills. Yeah.
We could also can see that couple of our colleagues over here, everyone is feeling the need that yes, they need to be trained a little bit more. This AI literacy that you have also focused on, that we have to, even the librarians and library professionals have to be trained in getting more skill sets in using AI tools and applications in their own respective libraries. There have been the libraries, and we could see that in the questions, that they're just wanting to know, in particular, like someone belonging to medical libraries, so that that how we can implement certain tools over there. I think the more we collectively move together, because it's like to have a wider perspective, and then trying to see that how in our own spaces, we may be from academic libraries, we may be from the medical, we may be from the corporate sector, that how we can implement them. But one thing that I could see that which has resonated strongly out of the deliberations that we have been doing since morning, that is that in the libraries, in the institutions, academic or for that matter other kind of institutions too, there is a greater need to popularize the AI tools implementations. But at the same time, we also have to remain very sensitive about the ethical AI, and should also try to educate our own researchers and scholars about it. There are tools, technologies being available, but I think the role of the libraries and professionals would really remain quite relevant in this context of AI too. At the same time, means what we have been able to deliberate since morning, the same kind of the thought that we are able to assimilate, is that yes, the professionals, library professionals, have to continue to play, that very important role in educating the users community. And for Delnet also, it's definitely a takeaway, a strong takeaway from these sessions since morning today, that we must try to also build up some major big portal wherein we are trying to bring together all these different tools, technologies, and also FAQ systems, and organizing more of the special sessions which really can help everyone who are being with the institutions, and we should continue to play our important role as a professional community. So I believe, Dr. Raj, we are now towards, and there are some who are wanting to ask about your email ID. I could see that there are 3 or 4. So you may like to say, so that they may like to contact you, Dr. Raj. Although I remember it, it is rajachd@gmail.com. With your permission, Raj, yeah. So
yeah,
please kindly note, it is R-double-A-J. It is R-double-A-J. Though the name is Dr. Raj is R-A-J, but the email ID goes as R-double-A-J-C-H-D@gmail.com. So CHD for Chandigarh as a short, if you make it. So R-double-A-J-C-H-D@gmail.com. Thank you very much, Dr. Raj, for this. And everyone is in great admiration of this wonderful presentation which has been made by you. And we could see that a comment coming in from Mr. Ayan Mondal, who says that yes, from Tuli Research Center for India, that like ILMS, librarians also needs to undergo more training on open access AI and many of the tools which are being there. And yes, we strongly, each one of us agrees with that. So this, we are on the conclusion, Dr. Raj, of your wonderful presentation. It was truly an enlightened, afternoon. You had shined much brighter than even the sun, yeah. And you have been able to spread let me just share with you. It was truly, and it was the wonderful part. I must say that it's a storytelling. We are talking about a digital storytelling, and what you have been able to do is, it's indeed like you have been able to, the flow of the session, the flow of your presentation was truly remarkable, and that has really created such a deepening impact. This is how you always professionally also, you are able to stand out from the crowd, and in your presentation you have been able to do that. So it's like building up, and everything that you have spoken, many of our attendees here have also mentioned about it. That's the examples that you have quoted. So it's going to etch forever, and what a wonderful presentation, what a wonderful afternoon, truly an empowered one, truly a knowledge enhancing one. Truly remain, grateful to you for your being there, with us. And thank you so very much for taking our time, Dr. Raj. Truly appreciate it. May God bless you, and really can't thank you enough. May we have a pleasure on behalf of Delnet and each one of us.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to present it to you in person,
Thank you.
and we will be we really look forward, to having many more. And this is just to inform our honor colleagues over here, that Delnet, we are holding, Dr. Raj is one of our very distinguished colleagues, along with Dr. Nabi Hassan, and three of us, we are holding an European Union's funded training program in Bhutan. Delnet has been approached by this Happy project in Bhutan, which is being funded by Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. And from 6th to 10th of January, we are in Thimphu. We are holding a training program for the Bhutanese librarians, which is a European Union funded. So, and I must really take this opportunity to thank you for that also, Dr. Rajia. So,
thank you,
and looking forward, yes. So thank you very much, one and all. It was truly, a wonderful day, and thank you very much, Raj, for making it possible for us to have you online. And though you are being there away, but still you have been very, very kind, always being available and accessible. And thank you so very much indeed. So with this, we would like to conclude our day-long deliberations. Wonderful day, knowledge enhancing day, and wherein we have by organizing this as a library networking day, we pay once again on this occasion our most humble tributes to Dr. H.K. Kaul, the great visionary, the missionary, whose vision has resulted into the entire conceptualizing of Delnet, and where we stand today as a self-sustainable organization. We pay our most humble tributes. Each one of us pays our most humble tributes in remembrance to Dr. Kaul. We remain grateful to you for your being there since morning with us, and for this very overwhelming response from all nooks and parts of India and from many other countries. Our colleagues have been able to join. We remain always grateful to you for your very valued participation, very engaging participation, and this we may like to the AI in libraries, the implementation of AI tools and technologies in libraries, and with a focus on libraries and also for researchers and scholars. I would like to assure you that Delnet would immediately be wanting to start working on that, and we would like to really keep on doing many more programs, more specialized programs, even for specialized tools. We may like to continue holding these sessions, more frequently, and also to see to it that we are able to create and develop some major portal wherein each one of us are going to engage in more knowledge deliberations and helping each other and setting in some of the best examples. So with this, we conclude our the program being marked AI for Everyone, Myths Busted. And I think we are at this juncture, definitely many of the myths centered around AI have completely been busted. We are in a better, state of clarity now what we were when we started off this morning. And for this, we must really acknowledge the support extended by the distinguished speakers, including Mr. Kamaljeet Singh Arora and also Dr. Rajkumar Bhardwaj, who really had made it possible for us to have more better clarification, more better clarity, and also to know whether AI is a friend or a foe. We are able to know more clearly about it. So I think there's a greater need that we need to get ourselves more acquainted. As deliberations have also hinted, we have to get more, not only the expertise, but the new skill sets also have to be developed and be together, each one of us have to play a very significant role and in ensuring that we are able to make the best use of AI and also to remain sensitive on the other side of the technology. And I think each one of us has to play a very responsible role in that. So we would like to once again thank you for your tremendous support in being there, to our distinguished speakers and each one of you who have been able to really spare time today and being a part of this wonderful celebration of the Library Networking Day being organized by Delnet. And with this, we conclude. And I also, on behalf of Delnet, may like to, thank my colleagues, Mr. Kushalgiri Goswami and Mrs. Ranjana, who have always been of great support in organizing these webinar sessions. Thank you very much. Just quickly to mention, the entire deliberations of today would be available on the Delnet's YouTube channel, WebView. That we would be able to do it by Monday noon. And also within 1 hour, by 4:30, you will be receiving the certificate of participation. Your very active participation, gracious presence this afternoon, you will be receiving that. With this, we conclude the program, and thank you very much once again. Stay happy, stay blessed, do stay connected, and we look forward to coming back again in the new year with the new programs. So wishing you all a very, very happy and blessed new year, and we look forward to our very continued, professional interactions. And with this, thank you very much, and we remain ever grateful to you for your immense support to us. Thank you so very much once again. Thank you.